Good hit.
Thanks, Cord.
What makes the U.S. Open different in terms of a challenge?
Everything I've heard, it's going to be an absolute beast this year.
The miraculous thing about Oakmont is to keep making it harder and harder and harder.
Oakmont's just tough. It's just a bear.
I've never played there. Everyone that tells me it's been there, it's the hardest course I've ever played, so I'm expecting that.
Great stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
U.S. Open coming up. How do you prepare for that?
Every week on the PGA Tours is a big week. Obviously, that one's a little extra special. It could be a little extra intimidating. I know the conditions are going to be tough. I think tee shots are going to be really demanding. There could be some different tees. I'll have to practice some shots out of the rough, hit some fairway bunker shots. But I think, just seeing the property, trying to make a plan for, when things don't go how I want.
You're going to get horrendous lies. You're going to have tough bounces. It's try to make it as difficult as possible. And I think the mental challenge of it, of knowing that, every year you get the ball dropped in the rough videos, you get the long par threes, seems like Oakmont has 3 of them over 250.
Drivable par threes.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like a lot of it is kind of sticker shock. They move the tees around. It never plays probably as long as the scorecard might say, but it's a challenge.
Things started falling apart.
He was 3 under at this point in a tie for the lead. In the end, this looked like this was going to be a disaster.
Is it easy to kind of, when you do get into trouble, forget that probably everybody's going to get into trouble at some point?
It's certainly easy to forget that. I feel like I'm pretty good at recognizing that. Everyone's going to get themselves in crazy spots. It's not just me. Inevitably, everyone's going to be in a situation that they are uncomfortable with or certainly don't want to be in. So I think just, recognizing that, and it's okay. Just try and, battle hard and do what you can to get out of trouble.
4 Canadians in the U.S. Open. Do you mix competitiveness with camaraderie? Like, do you sort of look where the other guys do? Is there something, a big feat in being a low Canadian?
It feels like week in, week out, someone is up there in the leaderboard trying to win. I think that just spurs all of us on that, hey, I play practice on these guys all the time. We compete. It's fun to see everyone up there, and then you want to be up there too. So it inspires you to work a little harder.
A couple of Canadians going out together. Long-time buddies.
And I think it's almost easier for us to see ourselves in that position when, guys we play with week in, week out,
right,
are up there. So it's been a fun run for the last 4 or 5 years. Everyone playing so well.
We're a close-knit group. It's a fun group to be a part of. We're all competitors, but we're all supportive of one another and care about how those guys are doing, and I'm happy when those guys play well.
And it's another playoff victory for Nick Taylor.
Your likelihood of playing a practice round is probably pretty good, the 4 of you.
Yeah, you can probably pencil us down for playing together. It's always fun at the major championships, representing Canada, but having a bunch of other Canadians there as well.
When you guys play in your groups, who would you say over the last 2-3 years has won the most?
Well, it's definitely not Adam and I. When we were the run of Mac and Corey versus Adam and I, we were just not practice round people, apparently. Good gracious. We had a stretch, probably the COVID time. It's not like we're playing for that much. It'd be $100 or $200, but we were getting drummed a lot. So when we won, we'd like to tell them, even though they had the upper hand. But me and Adam are in the red for sure.
How much fun is that to play in an all-Canadian group with a little something maybe on the line and get?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Mac and I sure had Nick and Adam Hadwin's number for the last number of years. We probably still do. I don't think they can really say they've ever gotten us. It's just fun, friendly battles, friendly competition, add something to our practice round. So it's definitely special.
What do the other guys outside, the non-Canadians, when they see you guys together, is there any kind of, do they look at it, they laugh at it, they give you any jokes about it? Or?
Yeah, I think it's just known that we're going to play our practice rounds together, and I wouldn't say we're not welcoming, but it's just assume we got 4 and it's going to be how it is. But yeah, I think we're just known as the Canadian squad, and that's just how it is.
Good pace. Are you serious?
Oh my goodness! Glorious and free!
When you come to the Canadian Open and all your pals that year that you sunk the putt, all your pals are up behind. I mean, half of the golf in Canada was up behind that green when they all came pouring out. What was it like to sort of sense this, that you've not only won it for Nick Taylor, but you've won it for a bigger, wider group of people?
Yeah, I think that was kind of the thing that probably hit me the most later on was just how impactful it was to a lot of people. Obviously, to me, it was, career changing, life changing in a way, but to have the emotional impact of everyone else around has kind of hit me as time has gone on. I feel like we've all spurred each other on, and hopefully that means that me or another Canadian wins it again, and we don't keep this talk of since I won, and hopefully it just keeps happening.
You were standing greenside a couple years ago at Oakdale when he rolled in that putt. What do you remember about that moment and how that went in?
I mean, it was crazy. We were just hoping that, he hit the putt with good speed, staying there with Adam Hadwin and Mike Weir, and the speed looked really good, and it was just shock when it went in. Honestly, you're certainly not expecting, him to make a 72-foot putt. Pretty remarkable moment, and definitely something I'll never forget.
The drought is over! He's an icon now in this country!
If you were to say what kind of style you play, what would it be? Like you compared to Corey, how are you guys different?
I feel like my iron play is probably the strength of my game, at least the last handful of years. And Corey's always been a great ball striker. I think he's probably one of the more underrated drivers of the golf ball. I feel like I hear too often that he's not the longest hitter, which he's not, but he hits it plenty far and very, very straight. So he's tee to green, arguably one of the best on tour.
What a ball striking clinic.
You remember not playing the Titleist golf ball?
I've played the Titleist golf ball as long as I can remember. I remember getting my dad's gently used hand-me-downs when I was younger. He always played with the Titleist ball, and right from the get-go, I was fortunate to be able to have access to them, and feel and performance was better than anything else.
Are you a Pro V1 or Pro V1X guy?
I've always pretty much been a Pro V1. It's allowed me to hit all the shots I want and have a great spin with shots coming into the green.
It's as good as it gets, in my opinion.
If you were to pick one part of Nick Taylor's game that you could steal, what would it be?
Probably his short game. He's got some pretty crafty shots around the greens. Definitely envious of that part of his game. He certainly works hard, but he's always been pretty talented on and around the greens.
Back of the cup for Taylor. Wow.
What is it about the Titleist ball that you like?
I've really, really liked the consistency and the predictability, the windows that I like to see with anywhere from the wedges to the long clubs. You got to trust that when you land it on the spot that you're trying to land it on, that it's going to come out in the flight, it's going to check, it's going to roll out. And when you have that ultimate trust, it's only going to make you play as well as you can.